This is not a story about anger exploding all at once. It's about anger that learned how to wait. The kind that smiles at PTA meetings, that brings casseroles when someone's sick, that says, "It's fine, really," while quietly taking notes. My name doesn't matter, not at first. What matters is that for most of my life, I believed being good would protect me. I was raised to be agreeable, to smooth things over, to swallow insults and call them misunderstandings, to forgive before anyone even apologized. And for a long time, that made me invisible. The first time my life cracked open wasn't dramatic. No screaming, no thrown objects. It was an email. Subject line, organizational restructuring. I was sitting in my car outside the grocery store, engine still running, phone balanced on the steering wheel. I remember because my milk went sour while I stared at the screen. After 12 years at the company, 12 years of weekends sacrificed, birthdays missed, staying late so others could leave early, I was being transitioned out. No meeting, no warning, just a polite paragraph thanking me for my contributions. I reread it 3 times before my hands started shaking. What they didn't say, but I knew instantly, was why. Her name was Claire. Claire had been my junior hire 2 years earlier. I trained her. I shared my processes. I covered for her mistakes. When she cried in the bathroom because the workload was overwhelming, I stayed late to help her catch up. Claire was charming in meetings, the kind of woman who laughed lightly at executives' jokes and always seemed to be standing in just the right place when credit was handed out. And when budget cuts came, Claire survived. I didn't. Later, I learned she'd been quietly presenting my work as collaborative until it became hers entirely. She'd positioned herself as innovative while painting me as resistant to change. The knife wasn't in my back. It was already inside my house. Because the second betrayal came 2 hours later. I walked inside with grocery bags cutting into my fingers and found my husband sitting at the kitchen table, hands folded like he was about to say grace. "We need to talk," he said. Every woman knows what those words mean. He didn't cry. He didn't yell. He just explained, calmly, efficiently, that he'd been unhappy for a while, that he'd connected with someone else, that he was moving out, that it wasn't my fault, but it also kind of was. Her name was Megan. Megan, who I'd met twice. Megan, who complimented my cooking. Megan, who followed me on Instagram and liked photos of my dog. I remember nodding as he spoke. I remember asking practical questions. Who would keep the house? How would we tell people? I remember not screaming. That came later, in the shower, with the water running so the neighbors wouldn't hear. Within 48 hours, my career and my marriage were gone. Friends told me to start fresh. My mother told me to pray. Everyone told me time would heal it. No one told me how humiliating it is to be betrayed quietly, how rage doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. I didn't plan revenge, not at first. At first, I planned survival. I updated my resume, I applied for jobs, I went to therapy. I smiled through brunches where people avoided eye contact because my sadness made them uncomfortable. And slowly, something shifted. I started seeing patterns. Claire hadn't just taken my job, she'd taken my professional identity and worn it like a borrowed coat. Megan hadn't just taken my husband, she'd taken pieces of my life she'd studied from a distance. And both of them believed the same thing, that I was done, that I was weak, that I'd disappear quietly. That assumption was their mistake. I took a consulting contract 6 months later, smaller role, lower pay, but it gave me access. Access to industry chatter, access to overlapping networks. I learned that Claire was struggling. Turns out taking credit is easier than delivering results. Deadlines were slipping, clients were unhappy, she was over her head. And Megan? Megan had moved in with my ex and discovered that men who cheat don't suddenly become honest. I didn't interfere. I observed. I listened. I waited. Here's the thing about revenge. It doesn't have to be cruel to be devastating. It just has to be precise. I started by being visible again. I attended conferences, I spoke on panels, I published thought pieces under my own name. Not flashy, just solid, undeniable expertise. People remembered me. "Oh, you were the brain behind that project," someone said once, casually, while Claire stood 3 feet away. Her smile tightened. I never corrected anyone. I didn't have to. Then I made one phone call, just one, to a former client who trusted me deeply and was considering renewing a major contract with my old company. I didn't badmouth anyone. I simply asked questions. How's the team continuity? Are you confident in the current leadership? Would it help to have an external consultant oversee delivery? They hired me instead, legally, cleanly, professionally. The contract was large enough that my former company had to explain the loss to shareholders. Claire was reassigned shortly after. Not fired, just demoted, moved away from visibility, the kind of punishment that eats at you quietly. As for Megan, I ran into her by accident, or so it seemed, at a charity fundraiser. She looked tired. We made small talk. She overshared. She always had. "He's been distant," she said, meaning my ex. "I think work stress." I nodded sympathetically. Then I said gently, "You know, when someone cheats with you, they usually cheat on you." I smiled when I said it, soft, kind. The truth landed harder than any insult could have. Weeks later, my ex called me. "I think I made a mistake," he said. I let the silence stretch. Then I said, "I don't," and hung up. If you're still listening and if you're enjoying this story, take a second right now to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps these stories reach more people who need to hear them. And trust me, the ending matters. The final part of my revenge wasn't planned. It was a gift. A year after everything fell apart, I was offered a senior role at a competitor firm, higher pay, more autonomy, a seat at the table I'd been locked out of for years. On my first day, I walked into the building, heels clicking on polished floors, heart steady. In the lobby, I saw Claire. She was there for an interview. She looked surprised to see me, then hopeful. "You work here?" she asked. "I do. I'll be on the panel." Her face drained of color. She didn't get the job, not because I sabotaged her, but because I asked questions she couldn't answer. That night, I went home to my apartment, clean, quiet, peaceful. I poured a glass of wine and sat on the balcony, city lights blinking like distant stars. I thought I'd feel triumphant. What I felt instead was calm. Revenge didn't heal me. Justice didn't erase the pain, but reclaiming my power did. I no longer needed their regret. I didn't need apologies. I didn't even need them to understand. The best revenge isn't destruction. It's becoming someone they can never touch again. So if you're listening to this and you've been betrayed by a friend, a partner, a coworker, remember this. You don't have to scream. You don't have to rush. You don't have to explain. Sometimes the strongest move is patience, and sometimes the sweetest revenge is a life so full, so solid, so unapologetically yours that the people who tried to break you become nothing more than a footnote. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Your support means everything, and there are many more stories waiting to be told. And trust me, I'm just getting started.